I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening, but now it's an important moment for me because it's a distinguished pleasure to introduce the 18th President of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, the Honorable Shirley Ann Jackson.
Thank you, Greg, and good evening, and welcome to our second East Coast Rensselaer Scholarship Gala, which will be followed by an historic performance by the Rensselaer Orchestra at the world-renowned Carnegie Hall. Now, I would like to begin this evening by reflecting on the content of the video you just watched, a version of which was shown at our inaugural Scholarship Gala in 2016. Tonight, I have some updates for you since this video was made. The first is on bridging the gap. Although the challenge for our students' financial aid needs still remains, I'm pleased to announce that the gap is narrowing. Since we last met in New York City for our inaugural gala, Rensselaer has received nearly $37,500,000 in new scholarship commitments. In total, commitments to bridging the gap now exceed $100 million, due in no small part to the generosity of the individuals and organizations who are with us this evening. Thank you. Now, with the ongoing and robust support of the entire Rensselaer community and its partners, and a steadfast commitment to the Rensselaer Plan 2024, I have every confidence that we will succeed in building the endowment we need. Because we intend to attract the very best students regardless of their socioeconomic backgrounds, because we are committed to Rensselaer living and learning environments that serve as a great crossroads across disciplines, sectors, cultures, geographies, and generations, that accurately reflects the world into which our students will enter as we fulfill our vision for the new Polytechnic. And because we believe that intellectual agility, multicultural sophistication, and a global view are the essential attributes that will enable our young people to lead in the 21st century and to affect the kind of positive change in the world and the legacy of Rensselaer to be sustained as we enter our third century as a globally prominent leader in education, research, and technological innovation with the resources required to accomplish these goals. My second update has to do with the talented students themselves who were featured in the video. I would like to share with you an update as to where they are now. 4 of them have graduated and 1 will be graduating in the spring. Mr. Thomas Fajardo of the class of 2017, who was a beneficiary of the Lois J. and Harlan E. Anderson Scholarship, earned his Bachelor of Science and Master of Science degrees in mechanical engineering through our co-terminal degree program. Thomas landed his dream job, working as an associate mechanical engineer at Sikorsky Aircraft in Stratford, Connecticut, where he also is participating in an engineering leadership development program. Mr. John Abad of the class of 2017, who also was a beneficiary of the Lois J. and Harlan E. Anderson Scholarship, received his Bachelor of Science degree in aeronautical engineering. John currently is working as an associate engineer at Quest Global in East Hartford, Connecticut. Ms. Zoe Anderson of the class of 2017, a beneficiary of the Patroon Scholars Program of the Rensselaer Annual Fund, received her Bachelor of Science degree in mechanical engineering. Currently, Zoe is working for Edwards Life Sciences in Irvine, California, a biomedical device company that focuses on innovative solutions for cardiovascular diseases. Mr. Elijah Coley of the class of 2018, a beneficiary of the William J. Olson 51 Memorial Scholarship, received his Bachelor of Architecture degree from the School of Architecture. Elijah currently is establishing himself as an architect in Seattle, Washington, working for Malum, a firm noteworthy for its sustainable ecological designs. And our last featured student is Ms. Nyla Brown of the class of 2019, who is pursuing a degree in business and management from the Lally School of Management. Nyla is a beneficiary of the Frank M. Fisher 64 Patroon Scholarship. Tonight promises to be an especially memorable evening for Nyla, who is a cellist and will be performing at Carnegie Hall as a member of the Rensselaer Orchestra, a performance to celebrate our new Bachelor of Science degree in music. Now, just as scholarship support has made a real difference in the lives of these students, so did it benefit me, and as you've heard, several of our trustees and their spouses. As scholarship recipients, we appreciate deeply those who gave us the opportunity to realize our aspirations and who have inspired us to follow suit. So tonight I would like to thank our campaign co-chairs, Trustee Paul J. Severino of the class of 1969 and Kathleen M. Severino, and the members of our campaign leadership committee. Would you please stand and be recognized? I also would like to acknowledge those who have made transformative commitments of $1 million or more to Transformative Campaign for Global Change. You will find a listing of these extraordinarily generous donors in your event program. So please join me in applauding them. I also would like to recognize those donors who, since our 2016 gala, have made new or additional transformative commitments of $1 million or more, specifically in support of scholarships or fellowships. And they are Lori and Kent R. Edwards of the class of 1963, the late John S. Holmes of the class of 1947, Trustee Linda Pitsy Jojo of the classes of 1987 and 1992, and Robert Jojo of the class of 1987. Trustee Dr. Mark M. Little of the class of 1982, and Teresa A. Little. And Nancy and Robert J. Lyons of the class of 1950, who are profiled in your event program. William F. McKay of the classes of 1981 and 1986. The late Harry F. Miners of the class of 1952 and the class of 1958. Trustee Emerita Linda S. Sanford of the class of 1975, who also is profiled in your event program. The late Theodore Singer of the class of 1948. Carol and Robert J. Wiseman. Trustee Theodore J. T.J. Wojner of the class of 1980 and Susan O. Wojner, and Trustee Edward J. Zander of the class of 1968 and Mona Zander. So please join me in thanking these donors for their truly transformative commitment. Finally, I would like to thank my cabinet members and our academic leaders, because together they make Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute a great force in research, in pedagogical innovation, and in the lives of our wonderful students. Please stand and be recognized. They, too, are major donors to the campaign. This is a particularly special evening for Dean Mary Simone of the School of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences, who has been instrumental in the rise of our music program at Rensselaer and in the development of our newly opened state-of-the-art media studio located in the Darren Communications Center. As I'm sure you have noticed, there are a number of students with us this evening, many of whom have benefited and are benefiting directly from the scholarship support provided by those of you in this room. May I ask these students to please stand and be recognized. While we celebrate those whose philanthropy makes it possible for Rensselaer to attract and educate the best, brightest, and most motivated students from across the country and around the world, it also is important to recognize that the record-breaking demand for Rensselaer education that we have experienced over the past several years is due in no small part to the world-class quality of our esteemed faculty. The first pillar of our campaign is rightly focused on enabling more deserving students to attend Rensselaer and on continually enhancing the student experience. To enhance the student experience, we must continue to empower world-class teaching and research, which is the second pillar of our campaign. To do so, we must increase the number of our tenured and tenure-track faculty to 500 and establish more endowed professorships. This is essential if we are to achieve the intellectual critical mass required to pursue forward-thinking research and drive new discoveries in the leading-edge fields of today and the emerging fields of tomorrow. It also is essential to advancing technological innovation in the classroom. Last June, at our inaugural West Coast Scholarship Gala in Half Moon Bay, California, we honored trustee Curtis R. Preem of the class of 1982 and Cindy Preem for yet another transformative gift in support of Rensselaer, the establishment of the Curtis R. Preem 82 Cognitive and Immersive Systems Constellation, a unique and transformative model for research rooted in the capabilities of the Curtis R. Preem Experimental Media and Performing Arts Center, and based on multidisciplinary collaboration among our stellar senior faculty, promising junior faculty, gifted graduate students, and ambitious undergraduates. Curtis and Cindy, please stand to be recognized. We also acknowledge 4 additional commitments in support of faculty and research while in California, but elected to present these awards this evening. In the 4 months since our West Coast Scholarship Gala, I'm pleased to announce that we have received 2 additional commitments in support of research, which we will honor tonight. Let me highlight these 6 special commitments. I would like to begin with our foundation partners. Our first honoree is the Grantham Foundation for the Protection of the Environment, whose grant is tied to research aligned with the foundation's mission to protect and improve the health of the global environment. Our next honoree is United Health Foundation, whose generous multi-year award is enabling Rensselaer researchers to leverage their data expertise and resources to attract students drawn from mathematics, biology, and computer science to explore the emerging field of health informatics. And our third honoree is the Warren Alpert Foundation, whose support is enabling Rensselaer researchers to develop an inhibitor that may prevent the buildup of senile plaque in the brain, a debilitating pathological process associated with Alzheimer's disease. Mr. August Gus Schieser, Executive Director of the Warren Alpert Foundation, has joined us this evening, and I'm pleased to welcome him to the stage to accept a recognition from us. Thank you. As for the transformative commitments in support of our faculty, please welcome Jennifer and Trustee Daniel T. Pickett III of the class of 1990 to the stage, whose recent endowment will establish the Pickett Family Career Development Professorship of Data Science. I also would like to acknowledge Judith and Thomas N. Iovino of the class of 1973, whose recent additional commitment enhances the Judith and Thomas N. Iovino 73 Professorship in Civil Engineering, and the late Betty and Howard P. Iserman of the class of 1942, whose generous gift will establish the second Howard P. Iserman Chair in Chemical and Biological Engineering. So please join me again in giving all of our honorees a round of applause for their transformational commitments. In total, commitments in support of the Faculty 500 have reached $50 million. Finally, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to our sponsors of tonight's gala celebration. Our dinner sponsor, IBM, whose myriad research partnerships with Rensselaer are at the leading edge of the fourth industrial revolution. Our Bridging the Gap circle of sponsors whose scholarship support is empowering talented and deserving students to pursue a world-class Rensselaer education. And they are the Boeing Company, United Airlines, and Sodexo. I also want to recognize Western Digital, one of our West Coast Scholarship Gala sponsors, whose Western Digital Scholarships for STEM program recently awarded 36 scholarships to Rensselaer students. And our corporate underwriter, KeyBank Capital Markets. So will all of the representatives of those corporations please stand and be recognized. And I want to recognize our corporate underwriter and our neighbor, KeyBank Capital Markets. With that representative, Ms. Mahoney, I think, is here. Is she? Please, there she is. And I would like to thank our corporate benefactor, corporate sponsors, and friends of Rensselaer for their support. And finally, thanks goes out to Mimeo for providing printing services for the wonderful event program. Mimeo was co-founded by 3 of our alumni who were the 2014 recipients of the Rensselaer Entrepreneur of the Year Award. And now, please enjoy, in a speedy fashion, your dinner, after which we will resume our program. Thank you.
At Rensselaer, we challenge ourselves to address the question, why not change the world? The Rensselaer Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award celebrates those who have dedicated themselves to answering this call, pioneering great discoveries that have transformed lives, expanded our understanding of the universe, and improved the human condition around the globe, demonstrating exceptional leadership in their personal and professional endeavors, and supporting new generations of outstanding Rensselaer men and women. Tonight, we recognize the extraordinary contributions of these alumni and partners to sustained excellence in education and research at Rensselaer, and to the positive impact it is having around the globe.
Well, good evening again. It is my distinct honor and privilege to recognize our first recipients of the 2018 Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, Trustee Jeffrey L. Kodosky of the class of 1970, and Gail Kodosky, whose selfless service and generous philanthropy in support of Rensselaer have created an enduring legacy.
Jeffrey Kodosky has been called many things: pioneer, Hall of Famer, and the father of LabVIEW, his breakthrough advance in systems engineering software. Rensselaer is delighted to add another title to this impressive list, and it is one that Mr. Kodosky proudly shares with his wife Gail, Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award recipient.
Jeff Kodosky really believes in the education of our students, and in his own quiet way, with Gail, his wife, they have done things in unique ways to advance our pedagogical mission while broadening the education of our students.
Jeffrey Kodosky's own life provides an inspiring model for today's Rensselaer students to follow. A few years after earning his bachelor's degree in physics from Rensselaer, he co-founded National Instruments. He served as the company's vice president of research and development for more than 2 decades and continues to mentor the now global R&D organization. Jeffrey Kodosky holds 69 patents associated with his invention of LabVIEW technology, which was named one of the top 50 milestones for the industry by Electronic Design magazine. He also was inducted into the Electronic Design Engineering Hall of Fame. The Kodoskys have made a transformative impact on Rensselaer. Together, they endowed the Institute's first research constellation.
So many of the challenges we face are multidisciplinary and global, and these collaborations are absolutely needed in addressing these challenges we face. That's why it's so important to support these constellation chairs.
Through the Gail and Jeffrey Kodosky 70 Constellation in Physics, Information Technology, and Entrepreneurship, they have given Rensselaer students and faculty the opportunity to work together across cutting-edge areas of inquiry, such as energy conversion, nanoscience, and cyber-based physics.
I think the Gail and Jeffrey Kodosky constellation has already been an outstanding success, in no small part due to the contributions of the world-class researchers who constitute this constellation.
Expanding the global engagement of Rensselaer, the Gail and Jeffrey Kodosky 70 Lecture Series brings world-renowned physicists to speak on campus every year.
We have invited essentially the top researchers in theoretical condensed matter physics over the past 7 years, and we are going to continue doing this.
Devoted patrons of the arts, Gail and Jeffrey Kodosky also have made splendid contributions to Rensselaer life. Through the Kodosky Foundation Fund for Classical Music, they have provided Rensselaer students, faculty, and staff with thousands of tickets to classical music performances.
We wanted to set up this fund to expose the students at RPI to great classical music because we felt that it would enrich their lives.
Champions of the Rensselaer Plan, Gail and Jeffrey have made vital and visionary investments in the future of Rensselaer. They are members of the 1824 Society of Patroons, and they are the recipients of the prestigious Alice Aquili Medal for Outstanding Philanthropy. Since 2002, he has contributed his innovative thinking and leadership acumen to Rensselaer as a member of the Institute Board of Trustees. Through their wisdom, generosity, and inspiring personal example, Gail and Jeffrey Kodosky have changed Rensselaer, and through Rensselaer, the world. We are proud to honor them tonight with the 2018 Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award.
Well, thank you very much. I never like seeing myself in video, but that was very well done. We're obviously deeply honored to receive this award, and it's appropriate that it's for both of us because Gail and I are a team.
Her love and support have made everything possible. I'd also like to thank my colleagues from National Instruments who are joining me this evening. Gail and I met when we were 18. I was a sophomore at RPI, and Gail was a graduate of Troy High. We met when my fraternity brother took me to a bar and dance hall. We saw these two young ladies at a table and invited them to dance. And when we sat down, the waiter hit us up for a cover charge. I figured, since I paid for it, I was going to sit there all evening. And my fate was sealed. Gail told me recently that from the moment she first looked into my eyes, she knew I was the one she wanted to spend the rest of her life arguing with. In 1970, I graduated from RPI. Gail and I were married, and we moved to Texas, sight unseen, so I could attend graduate school at the University of Texas at Austin. Now, for somebody who had hardly been west of the Hudson River, this was a major culture shock, as I'm sure you can imagine. But we grew to love Austin, and we've been there ever since. As a graduate student at UT, I had a teaching assistantship for a couple of semesters, and when it ran out, I took a part-time job at UT's Applied Research Labs. There I met two other grad students, Jim Touchard and Bill Nallon, and a few years later, we had an idea that maybe we could start a company. Why not? So we founded National Instruments, which today is a multinational corporation of over 7,000 employees. I reconnected to RPI first with small donations to the annual fund. I benefited from scholarships, so I figured it was natural to give back. My connection deepened when I attended my 15-year reunion, and a few years later, I began recruiting at RPI for National Instruments, and eventually I went on to join the Board of Trustees, where I've served for the past 16 years. I was so inspired by the Rensselaer Plan and by Dr. Jackson that Gail and I established the first research constellation at Rensselaer, and of course, it helped that National Instruments had gone public a few years earlier. I'm proud to be an RPI alum. I'm proud of the Renaissance at Rensselaer, and I'm amazed by the transformation that's taken place at RPI. RPI students today are extraordinary, and RPI's reputation is shining brightly. So much so, it makes me look even smarter for having enrolled 52 years ago. I'm proud to be part of the transformative adventure as we approach the 200th anniversary of Rensselaer. Let's join together in supporting RPI students who will tackle the global challenges we face and transform our world. Let's support them because we're counting on them. Thank you once again for this award.
Not bad for a physics major. Just saying. Our next recipient of the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award is the Boeing Company, in recognition of that organization's long-standing research partnerships with Rensselaer and its exceptional dedication to our students. The Boeing Company are exemplars of what corporate citizenship, philanthropy, and vision are really about.
For decades, Boeing has played an important role in the success and vitality of Rensselaer's cooperative education program, providing undergraduate students with experiential job placements.
I love Boeing. I was there for the summer internship. I got great projects to work on. It was such an incredible experience.
The company has funded several student fellowships and established a scholarship program at Rensselaer for underrepresented minority populations.
Becoming a Boeing Scholar was what really set the tone for me to become a Boeing employee. Being able to come back and recognize people who are Boeing Scholars now, it's just huge to me.
Rensselaer and Boeing have also partnered on a range of projects that leverage the talents of Rensselaer's aerospace engineers and research centers.
I started to work with Boeing in 2008. In 2011, we received the Supplier of the Year award in the technology category.
Boeing joined with the Institute's Lighting Research Center to bring new lighting technology into the company's aircraft cabins, ultimately improving the flight experience for passengers while also reducing energy costs. Boeing has provided generous support for Design, Build, and Fly, an international aircraft design competition in which student teams from universities across the world create remote-controlled aircraft, and for the Institute's Aerospace Engineering Summer Program, which gives high school students the opportunity to test their wings at Rensselaer. While Boeing has enlivened education and research at Rensselaer, the Institute has made important contributions to Boeing's overall success. Many Rensselaer alumni have enjoyed distinguished careers at the Boeing Company.
Over the history of Boeing, we've had over 1,000 alumni from RPI as part of the Boeing Company. Today, we have 330 alumni that are on the Boeing team and 17 that are part of the executive team.
Bill Boeing founded the Boeing Company with the philosophy, build something better. As we honor Boeing with the 2018 Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, we look forward to expanding our vital relationship with the Boeing Company and building something even better for our university and our world for many years to come.
To accept the award on behalf of the Boeing Company, please welcome Dr. Greg Heislop, Chief Technology Officer and Senior Vice President of Boeing Engineering, Test, and Technology, to the stage.
Well, thank you, Dr. Jackson, and I'm truly honored and humbled to accept the 2018 Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of the Boeing Company. And on behalf, as I mentioned, of the 330 Rensselaer alumni, I'm proud to say are my colleagues at Boeing. And as I said in the video, we've had over 1,000 RPI graduates and many in very senior executive positions over our company's long history. Just the other week, I had the opportunity to spend a day with faculty and students on campus in Troy. And it was a great day, and I really get it now about what's going on at RPI. The exceptional people that we've had in leadership, I see where they come from and why they're such great leaders. They're all system-level thinkers. The environment where breakthrough research is happening, there is something special happening at RPI. I frequently talk, and I talked to the students that day about what I see happening in the future of aerospace and how mobility, I think, is going to change, and that I said we're on the verge of another, I believe, golden era of aerospace. Aerospace problems are some of the hardest problems that we ever try and solve, whether it's manufacturing or whether it's vehicle design. And will always serve to inspire people, whether it's space travel and exploration in Mars, whether it's building the most efficient jetliners in the world that connect city hubs that have never been connected before, or whether it's protecting free people so they can travel on those airplanes. We'll always be fascinated by things that fly. And I'm just honored that RPI has played such a significant role in our history and will play, I believe, an even more significant role in our next century. So thank you very much.
Our next recipients of the 2018 Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award are trustee Dr. John E. Kelly III of the classes of 1978 and 1980, and Helen Jo Kelly, his wife, whose exemplary support of our students and steadfast commitment to advancing transformative research truly are empowering Rensselaer to change the world.
Whether leading a revolution in artificial intelligence, safeguarding the planet's natural resources, or creating opportunity for young people of all backgrounds, Helen Jo and John E. Kelly III have made our world a more interesting, beautiful, and equitable place.
John E. Kelly III is a true visionary. That can be seen in his own career accomplishments at IBM and in the great partnership that he and I have had in advancing the Rensselaer Plan. John, with his wife Helen Jo, has really shown their belief in our students and in educating the next generation of students, and his personal belief and commitment to our research mission.
Dr. Kelly has been instrumental in cultivating the IBM Rensselaer partnership that encompasses platforms such as the IBM Blue Gene Q supercomputer, the Advanced Multiprocessing Optimized System, or AMOS, after Rensselaer founder Amos Eaton, the most powerful supercomputer at an American private university, the Jefferson Project at Lake George, and the Cognitive and Immersive Systems Laboratory, or CISL, at MPAC.
The partnership he's formed with the Institute itself, its professors as well as the students, John has been the real driver of where can we take this? What do we do next? That quest for the next wave of transformation, for the next new technology, a lot of that came from his years at RPI.
While John Kelly has helped foster the historic relationship between Rensselaer and IBM, he and Helen Jo have built a vital bridge between the Rensselaer generations. By establishing 3 endowed scholarships to date, the Kellys have opened the door to a Rensselaer education for talented young men and women, regardless of background or means.
Dr. Kelly's scholarship has changed my life. I wouldn't have this opportunity to succeed and to achieve my dreams or goals in life without scholarship and without Rensselaer.
A true leader in the Rensselaer community, John Kelly has served as a member of the Rensselaer Board of Trustees since 2010. He's been honored by the Rensselaer Alumni Association for his service to the Institute. Dr. Kelly also has received the Rensselaer Davies Medal for Engineering Achievement. In one of their most recent expressions of generosity, they created the Helen Jo and John E. Kelly III 78 Data Visualization Lab at the Margaret A. and David M. Darren 40 Freshwater Institute at Lake George.
The Kelly Lab is the nerve center of the Jefferson Project. It allows us to bring researchers together to look at the data, interpret and analyze those data to really understand what the human impacts are on Lake George. Dr. Kelly's vision has been critical to the success of the project. I don't think would exist without his vision and leadership from IBM and as a trustee.
Helen Jo and John E. Kelly III have been important parts of this university's life for more than 40 years. The Rensselaer family is deeply grateful to the Kellys for their significant and sustained support of research and education at Rensselaer, and we are delighted to honor them with the 2018 Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award.
Well, good evening, and thank you, President Jackson, on behalf of Helen Jo and I, and thank you to my fellow trustees and all of you for joining us here tonight. Helen Jo and I want to begin by congratulating Gail and Jeff and the Boeing Corporation for receiving awards tonight with us. It's quite an honor to be with you this evening. We also want to acknowledge last year's award winners, Howard Blitman, class of 50, who could not be with us this evening, but also Curtis and Cindy Preem, who are exemplars of contributing back to Rensselaer, and we believe that these are big footsteps to follow in, and we'll do our best, Curtis. Now, we're pleased to accept this award, but only on behalf of so many people who have made tonight possible. At a recent RPI award ceremony, I commented that I made several decisions in my life. Hopefully, Helen Jo, you'll agree. Number one, and this shows that I'm maybe smarter than I look, my wife of 42 years, Helen Jo. And then RPI, coming to RPI as a physicist and then having the ability to move into engineering and explore all the possibilities of a great technical education. The faculty, my fellow students, Professor Tomozawa, and those in the physics department made all of this possible for us. And then number 3, IBM, where I've been given the privilege to work with many of the most talented people in the world, many of who are here tonight. Thank you for your partnership. In that role, I've had the ability to work with the smallest, fastest transistors in the world and nano devices to the largest, most powerful supercomputers on the planet. I've worked on PCs and superintelligent systems like Watson, the smartest machine in the world. But tonight is really all about scholarship and giving back. So why do Helen Jo and I do our best to give back to Rensselaer? First of all, we simply could not have paid my way through grad school if it wasn't for scholarship. It also launched me on an incredible career in the technology industry and at IBM. And we believe that life is not about what we personally accomplish, but the lives of those that we help. We bet on people. We bet on President Shirley Ann Jackson, who has done an incredible job of transforming and driving this university forward. And we bet on big transformative programs, whether they're supercomputer facilities or freshwater research at the Darren Freshwater Institute. And so as we gather here tonight, we celebrate one of the world's greatest technological institutions. And never before has the world needed the new Polytechnic more than today. The world is ever more complex, more interconnected, and more challenged. Our safety, our planet, our climate, our health, our very existence. But the answer to these challenges and our future lies in our current and future students. They will solve these problems. They will prevent future problems. They will raise their children and give back to future generations of leaders. Helen Jo and I thank you for this tremendous award and the great institution, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Thank you.
So please join me in congratulating and celebrating all of our honorands this evening. Since the launch of Transformative Campaign for Global Change, I'm pleased to say that we are well on our way to our $1 billion goal and look forward to reaching our halfway point of the campaign in the near future. Perhaps most inspiring, however, are the thousands of individual gifts that members of the Rensselaer community and our friends have made to the campaign. We thank them, and we thank you. And before we continue our celebration, please join me in a toast. To our students,
Here.
to our honorands,
Here.
and to the bright and great future of the institution that we all are a part of, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute.
Rensselaer.
Yeah.